got all kinds of people here. Hello, Deb. I see Leslie, Lois, Cindy, South Carolina, Carolyn. Hi, you ladies. Paula, Kathleen, all kinds of ladies. Hi, everybody. Hi, welcome, welcome. Detroit, Cedar Park, McKinney. That's not too far. I was close to there today. Well, this is just a fun time to get together. I've done a lot of work, but it's still a fun time to get together. It's not work, it's just fun. Hi, everybody. So what I wanted to focus on tonight, my title for this is fabric. Think of if you're a mathematician. Oh, you guys, I always forget to put on my mic. When my son's not here, I always forget. At some point, I'm going to tell him I can't do this without him because I can't forget. Is that better? I hope that's better. I just always forget because he's always telling me where to stand. Anyway, thank you for the reminder. Hopefully you can hear now and it's good. All right. Welcome, welcome. We'll start again. Okay, good. No audio? Is there audio, you guys? You got okay for audio? I can put this little pack on me, but that won't make a difference. Okay, you can hear. All right, so we got lots of pictures tonight. You know, I think I do too much. I think I overwhelm you. I think I overwhelm you all, possibly. There's just too much information. Sometimes I think I just do too much. But anyway, in that spirit, oh, good. Okay, great. I was in the spirit of a mathematician. The title is Fabric plus X equals Y. So remember in the days when we did math problems. Hi, everybody. We did formula, X and Y. So this is a fabric plus X equals Y. Y is the outfit, the final outfit. We want the final outfit to be wow. We want to love it. We want to just love it. We want to love it. That's the goal. So fabric plus. So all the things I'm going to show you tonight are fabric plus something. And you'll clearly get the message because there's a lot of fun examples. So what I've noticed over the years is that manufacturers, especially in financial times or when they're trying to save or when they're trying to spread a fabric as best they can or, make the most of a fabric, they'll do what's called an add-on. And an add-on, you'll see tonight what an add-on is. And it's no algebra. I promise I love that. No algebra, you guys. Fabric plus X equals Y. That's as hard as it gets. And if it is algebra to you, you'll think, oh man, I aced that algebra. I got that. So they will do what's called an add-on, and they'll add something onto just the fabric. So we're going to go through these pictures, and you're going to see exactly what I'm referring to. So I'm going to switch over to my picture segment for a little bit. And we're going to start with, nope, not that one, sorry. This one. Okay, so what I want you to start to see is how these are all current. Everything's current. I've got 20-something pictures for you. 21. They're all current. If you guys can't find something to make from this mix, tell me why. All right? Okay, so 21 different ideas is what I'm going to bring you. I have often looked at these shirts that are multiple pieces, I'm going to call them, and I love them. I just love them. I don't know what it is about them, but I just really like them. And when I start to study how they mix the fabrics or what they do to the fabrics, I never feel quite confident that I can do it. So tonight I want, in these first few pictures, and we're going to take a couple, I want you to, number one, see that these fabrics have nothing to do with one another. So the first thing I want you to learn is that we can cut a seam, cut to one piece, cut it apart, add seam allowance, sew it back together. Because this is just classic blouse and it's got a back yoke. So you could make a back yoke on classic blouse. You can cut it, add a seam allowance to both sides, sew it back together. Piece of cake. But if you look and see how many fabrics are here, there are roughly 4. Okay, then I want you to look at this next one. I think I'm screwing up, you guys. There we go. And I think I wrote on here, oh, I just put on who it was by, the price, and all that kind of stuff. Because again, you see cute fabrics. I mean, before they were certain colors, now they're more lighter colors. But again, I am perceiving that you have some scraps. And you probably have some scraps that you really like or that you really would enjoy using in another garment. This is the idea you have. More than one fabric put together into a garment, and I'm going to show you one more, and there we have it. This is cute. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fabrics. There's a few fabrics there, but I love them. And I want to give you the idea that you take a shirt, and you could take any shirt, you all know that. A shirt that you've made before, and do it again. Except, I would notice a couple things. See how the front facing and the collar and the cuffs match? You don't need cuffs, but I mean, those two fabrics match. I would be careful to match those. You want it to look purposeful. And I think little details like that make it look purposeful. But as far as the others, the red, you know, there's 2 different reds in there. There's 2 different blues. 3 different blues. They don't really even match. I just love this because I like the shirt. So when I see stuff like this and I like it, and I back myself up and say, okay, what's going on? I like to see what's going on. What am I thinking? What am I feeling, et cetera, et cetera. So I want you to take a look at that, and that's why I wanted to show you these. Okay, so this next one, this is Veronica Beard. And I'm going to take you back a couple years because Veronica Beard released this shirt several years ago, and I actually made a pattern out of it. And it's 322. It's this one right here, 322 Veronica, I even named it Veronica. Veronica's 3-way raglan knit top. I love this pattern. So let me walk you through what I did. And you can look at the picture and you can see both. Whoops, I need to put this over here, sorry. Okay. Okay. So if you look at the picture to the left, the beauty of this shirt, and the reason I picked up on it is this is the baseball shirt. This shirt, if you look at it, Veronica Beard, you can go look at it online, sells for several $100s. A couple $100, $160 plus change. But the beauty of this shirt is the baseball shirt, a typical traditional baseball shirt, was a raglan sleeve. And what we know about raglan sleeves is they're not the most flattering on women because they leave out seams. And whenever you leave out seams, you get gapping. So they leave out seams, they get gapping, you know, but we go with them because they're so traditional. What this shirt did is it put a piece right in here. And you can see it in these pictures. You can see it in the stripe especially, which is why I printed that stripe for you. It is just brilliantly done. There's a piece there to where it looks like a raglan, but in fact, it's a set-in sleeve. And then the next thing that's so great is you have options of a gathered sleeve or a set-in sleeve or a raglan sleeve. And that's what I did in this pattern. I gave you all those options. One view is a raglan, one view is a set-in, and one view is a gathered set-in. So it gave you all of those options. This is adorable. This is two, I mean, it's so cute on. I didn't even hem the bottom. I wanted it to be scruffy. You know, I just wanted it to be plain. I did it in the 2 Gucci pinks. I don't think I put them up here, but y'all can find them. One is a darker pink and one is a lighter pink. I used a yard of each fabric and just fun. But there's so many fabrics you can do this out of. In fact, I I'm going to say struggled for a while because this is a fabric. I'm in love with this fabric. This is 8288. I'm completely in love with this fabric and I really wanted to use it. Let me close the picture. I don't think we need the picture anymore. Just one second. Okay, so this fabric, 8288, I think it'd be so cute in a print. A lot of the baseball shirts are done in solids, but I think that if you did it in a print, it'd be really super cute. Let me just tell you that most baseball shirts, I'm sure you're familiar with this, but I'm going to tell you that the sleeve portions are usually darker than the body. I wanted to reverse it. I wanted to make the body darker and the sleeves lighter. But typically that's just not how it's done. It's your shirt. You get to do it however you want. But the sleeves are darker, the collar's darker, and the body is lighter. All right, so having said that, it's yours. You get to make it however you want. 2 fabrics, great look, great combination. 2 fabrics, love it, absolutely love it. Again, about a yard of each one, and it really makes a super look. Easy to sew, pattern 322, and a yard of 2 different knit fabrics. Okay? As we go, let me know if you have questions, and I'll check along the way. Okay, this next picture. I love this. Look at the price on this. Oh, goodness gracious. So keep in mind that this could be done with really any facing, any lapel. It doesn't have to be black and white. It doesn't have to be peak lapel. I used this one and I did it on, I didn't do it on this one, but you could do it on this one. This is 920, no, this is 611. This was our POM. When you're making a shirt, it's a great way to do it. Make the facing completely different. Just like in that picture, make that facing completely different. So easy enough. And you know where it's really helpful is if you look at prints. And if you're doing a print jacket, do a solid lapel. So it just doesn't get too much printsy and too cutesy. You could do a print jacket and a solid lapel. Okay, great combination. I listed a couple patterns up there, and like I said, the fabrics are many, 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 many. Okay, this one I wanted you to see because it's a dress. Now keep in mind that this dress, it's 6 different fabrics. It's never going to be your best look. Just know that. But it's cute and cool. You've got leftover fabrics and you just want to kind of do a house dress, which is really what they used to call these, the house dress. I think it's a great, I like it. I think it's a great look and fun to do with fabrics. So fabric plus X. Here I want you to see, and mainly my goal for showing this is to show you, this is current, this is high end, this is Acris, and look at the price, and look at the 2 different sleeves and how they're all the same wide stripe. You've got 4 different fabrics. The front is one, the back is one. One sleeve is one and the other sleeve is one. 4 different striped fabrics being sewn together. The reason I'm showing you these is I have a hard time sometimes knowing what's good design and what's just bad. But when I see it on Acris and it costs that much, I gain a little confidence. All right, this next one, I wanted you to see because it's a combination of sleeves. Again, look at this price. I did this a little bit when I went back and I did this 118, which I love. I used the ribbing on the sleeves and the neckline and used the plain on the body. So I want you to think about that. And again, all of these are just ideas that we should put in our head as we're sewing and making things. What if I don't have enough fabric for sleeves? Could I use something else that's coordinating? Could I use a beautiful sheer print that would be perfect just for sleeves? Maybe this is an Hermes. Maybe this is really high priced and I don't want to do the whole blouse. So could I do just the sleeves and do a solid body blouse? What a beautiful combination. There's just so many options. So I think this tonight is about creativity. And when we learn creativity, or when we don't literally learn it, but what we do is we take creativity from our exposure and then we duplicate. So my goal tonight is to give you exposure. All right, this next one, because it's so simply done, and yet if you're just doing a plain white t-shirt and you want to wear it with a lot of different things, to put stripes on the side would be really easy. This could be done in a fold-over elastic. You could literally just stitch it in place. Very easy and very simple to do. This one, I wanted to talk about shears, because the next couple have to do with fabrics that are sheer. Well, I'm going to go back and use this. This is an Hermes. This is the new Hermes we put up. And this Hermes is, I mean, I guess it's sheer. I don't think I'd worry about putting anything behind it because it's tight enough that you don't really have to worry about it. But let's say we did. Let's say we wanted to put a little shell underneath it. That's exactly what that is. They've just got a black shell. Whenever you have something transparent, different color shells underneath will change the outcome. So that's a black and white. They put a black. If they put a blue underneath, if they put a yellow underneath, anytime you change on a sheer, you change that underneath fabric, you change the look of the outfit. And it's a great thing to do because it changes it up so much. All right, sorry you guys, I'm losing my numbers here. Okay. All right, this is kind of the same thing. This is actually an embroidered top. It is the embroidery you can kind of see right through. And so they've got another shell underneath. I know it's hard to see, but again, look at these prices. It's just incredible to me to look at these prices and think that real people actually pay these prices. All right, and then this next one I want you to see. I want you to just see this because remember I said earlier you can cut something, add seam allowance, sew it back together, and create a line that's so pretty, especially when you use the contrast, especially when you come in with different ways and different means. So kind of think about sometimes we just use a plain simple top, but we need to take it another distance. Just so you know, your hair is brushing your microphone at times. I'll use this scarf clip I have and I'll pull my hair back. Can you move the picture so we can see your sample? Yes, couldn't see it. Yes, please. We cannot see the sample of the black and white pick. I don't think those were for me. We can't see your samples. Pretty on your sample. Great idea. The sample, this sample, the pink sample, this one. Let me go back and just make sure that that's what you're talking about. So this was 322. I'm not sure I'm picking up the right one. This is 322. And I was talking about the differences. This is the set-in sleeve, but I used the pink. It's kind of like a little piece in there. It makes it look like a raglan, but in fact it's not a raglan at all. So you don't compromise any of the fit, which is marvelous. It's absolutely marvelous. It's genius. I mean, I just copy them, you guys, but I mean, when I first saw this, I thought that's just genius. Okay. Okay. Let me just read your comments, you guys. Sorry. The coat was impossible to see. I'll bring it back. Oh, the lavender. The lavender. Okay, so the lavender, this was an example of where I had used different sleeves than different fabrics. It can be tone on tone. It could be completely different. But in this case, and this was from a previous webcast that I did, I love this shirt. I got to tell you. I mean, it's just really a home run. But it's just different color, different textures on the same fabric. And that's always does very well when you use different textures on the same garment. Same garment, different textures. Okay? Okay, let's go back to where we were and I'll pick up. Okay, that was the same, that was creating a seam and just creating a really abstract look to where you could do all kinds of different things with it. I wanted you to see this because the price point. This is a Lafayette 148. And when we take fabric plus, and that plus being embroidery, it just really just makes a beautiful garment. You know, I beaded a blouse like this one time, or I don't know that it was a blouse, but a little sweater like this. And it was a tone-on-tone beading. And it probably took me maybe 3 or 4 hours. I was surprised how quickly it worked up. And I don't think it even matters the beading. I think it doesn't have to be intricate. I'm going to show you another one that I saw close up at the store, and it's so simple, but it's just beautiful. But I think it just really, it does definitely make the garment more recognizable. You know, you'll have a tendency to tire of it readily, but really what we're doing is we're creating focal points. I think sometimes in our dressing we forget this concept of what is so important, which is called a focal point. Focal points are very, very important in our dressing. This one is a good example also. Now this is a beaded that's been sewn onto the base of the neckline. Anybody could do this. We could do this. Again, this is $1,000 for this sweater. It has a little opening in the back, and that's where it opens, and then it closes up. But I think it's simply stunning. Very rich looking. You know, we're clever women. We could probably even get it to the point where it's removable so that we wouldn't have to always have it at the same time, or kind of make it into a necklace. But somehow I like the idea that it's attached. All right, this next one I wanted you to see because this is what I was talking about. This blouse I saw in the store, and it's a beautiful orange silk. And in fact, when I bought that orange silk, I had seen this in the store. And I mean, it's stunning. This is kind of Candosa's top to me. Candosa's top, pattern number 197. It is beautiful. I mean, it's just a beautiful, stunning top. They had it with a milk pair of pants. And it's just so simple and so beautiful, but the layers, and then this was just this embroidery was just layers of petal. And they were, you know, with a rolled edge around them. But none of that even matters. It was just such a beautiful piece of embroidery. I don't think it'd have to, if I were to copy it, I wouldn't make it just like this. Just something there that looks beautiful and simple, that really creates a focus, and I think just does a stunning job. Just a beautiful top. $1,200 for that little Acros top. Okay, so now what I want to do is talk about how Fabric Plus is piping. The piping and what the piping does to our garments, because it absolutely creates a temperature, a climate, I want to say, that is just really, really a positive. We can control the eyes completely when we do stuff like this. Vertical, up and down, you see everything. Nothing is horizontal on this gown. And you know, it doesn't have to be a gown, it can be anything. But nothing is horizontal. Everything is vertical, straight up and down. It's a great look. This is another good example because you've seen all it is another fabric with a bias being made and it being stitched on top. And again, everything's vertical. I mean, the cutouts in the side, I don't know that I would go with that. But what I want you to do is think about where could I do vertical and how would it flatter me? Okay, now what I want to do is talk about a new trend, and I'm going to hold on just 1 second and look at questions, just because I think I'm leaving you all in the dust. What pattern is the lavender top? It's 118. 118. That does look rich. Okay, number 118 is the lavender pattern. Yeah, thanks for answering for me, you guys. Okay, so I appreciate your help as you're helping me out, and I do need a little bit of help tonight. This is not something I should be doing by myself, but I'm really committed. I want to do it by myself because I just want it to be a conversation with us. So I don't know if I'm failing or succeeding at that. But anyway, I want to look at this picture because in this particular picture, what we're now talking about is reversible fabrics. And there are a lot of them. The trend is gaining more and more. I am seeing more and more reversible fabrics. I am buying more and more reversible fabrics. And I kind of want to make you a little bit aware of them. So they're beautiful. This is a great example. This particular piece is an Armani. I don't know fabric numbers, you guys. You'll have to, go through and kind of look. but it's a knit reversible. And so on one side, it's just this beautiful, I'm going to call it a camel, and then the back side is the dot. Now, going along that trend, I do know this fabric number because it's marked on the tube, 8266. It is a gorgeous floral, tropical on one side, and the other side is a gingham. This was meant for both sides of this fabric to be shown. And so we want to look for fabrics, for patterns, where we can really see both sides. We've got several of them here. Oh, I was going to show you this embroidered. This is fabric plus, it's already been done on here. This is a big trend right now to show this fabric. I've got this picture up, you guys, I'm sorry. See, normally my guy is here and he's taking down the pictures. I'll go back to it, but I just want to show you some of these fabrics that we're seeing. So we're seeing these embroidered fabrics. And again, I don't know if I have a number on this, you guys. I don't. But anyway, you'll have to scroll through the fabrics. It's already got the embroidery done for you. So it's just wildly successful right now to have this, the whole concept of reversible fabrics. We've got quite a few of them if you go through. But this is the one I wanted to show you. And I brought it over a little bit earlier, and I'm going to show it again. This is an Armani, and it's a reversible. And so on the wrong side of this fabric, in fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to reverse it. This is pattern 611. I did it with, oops, sorry. This was the pattern of the month. Y'all saw me wear this. A lot of these fabrics can be made to be reversible garments. And I don't think you need, like tons of instruction. You just need creativity to go through and say, okay, how would I do that? How would I make it reversible? What would be the best thing? So in this case, for instance, if I was going to do it reversible, I did not. I would stitch the darts on the black side, because the black side, you're not going to be able to see the detailing like you are on the lighter side. So anything that's darts, I would take to the darker side. The stitching, I would take to the darker side, so that when you go to wear that on the outside, you're not going to see any of that. And when you had the gray side out, the gray side would be smooth and clean. When you hem something like that, it forms a little black trim. So it's perfect for, doing what so many of the garments out there do. But I just wanted you to see how incredible it is that there's so many fabrics right now that are being done where both sides can be usable. And often we'll say, well, gosh, which side is this? What side am I supposed to be using? You can be using both sides. I did want to show you this scarf clip, you guys. These are the ones that we have. They're fabric covered. They're adorable, and they just kind of hold that scarf there so it doesn't shift. Or you can take the clip and you can clip it to a lapel. I know I've seen ladies running down the street and all of a sudden they stop and there's scarves in the street. So this little clip, what it does is it clips. And they're, these are these Donna Salyer, so they're fabric covered. They're really cool. They're black and brown, but also they make great little, they're not expensive. But they're pack of 10, so if you wanted to get a pack, you could share them with your friends. I mean, like I said, they're very inexpensive. But anyway, I just wanted to show you that. Okay, so those reversible fabrics. So I want to look at a couple of these reversible concepts right now and let you see what's going on. And let me just read beforehand. Your note says 928. Wait. I do too. 928 is Ming's swing jacket. How do you finish the seams on the reversible garment? Typically, I appreciate the questions, you guys, and I really appreciate your patience. Typically, on a reversible garment, they are serged, and the serging is shown. But if there's a lighter side or a darker side, the side that's darker is the thread color that is chosen. So for instance, I had a darker black. Here, I'm going to pick up this fabric here for a second. This is the fabric. And so if I was making this reversible, there's a black side, and the black side has these little picks that show the other side. Both sides are very cool. They're very good looking. So I would use black thread, and I would use all the seams, I would treat the black as if it was the wrong side, so that all those seams and all that would be hidden into the black, and the gray would be finished. That's what I would recommend. So when you're doing a reversible and you've got a darker, even if it's a pink and a white, you want to use a pink thread, which is the darker of the two, and put everything to the pink side. Now keep in mind, all of this is design, because when you're doing a reversible garment, it gets to be however you want it to be. There's no rules on it. It's whatever. There's also, you could use French seams. Personally, of all the reversible garments I've seen, I've never seen French seams in ready-to-wear. You could. I'm just saying, if you start to do it, look around. We've got a reversible jacket, and those seams were stitched and then stitched down. I'm going to call them like taped, but no tape. Taped, but no tape, if that makes sense. Okay. Let me go back to this other picture we were on. Okay, that was the reversible jacket. That's the swing jacket. Did I have that? Oh, that's what you all were talking about. That is 928. That's the swing jacket. It's not exactly, but that's what I would use. It's pretty close to the swing jacket with the collar and everything else. Okay. Okay, this one I wanted you to see because of the trend that I want to talk to is, again, this fabric plus these two colors that are being used. Often, and I mean every Saturday, when I'm at the store and we lay out fabric on the table, I hear it almost with every fabric. Well, which do you think is the right side? I hear it all the time. For those of you who have been in the store, you're laughing now because we say this all the time. What do you think is the right side? And I say it all the time. It's the side you like. It's the side you like. But I really want to explore and experiment with other fabrics. So in this case where I was making this blouse, and this is pattern 623, I'm in love with this pattern, you all know that, but it wouldn't matter. The pattern you use makes no difference. The tab up the front, I wanted it to be contrasting. I wanted to give it, it's kind of like what I talked to you a couple weeks ago, I wanted to give it a contrasting look up the front. I wanted a vertical line. So I came in with different fabrics, and there were a couple of fabrics that I liked with it. I thought they were really cute. But for some reason, all of a sudden, I flipped over the fabric, and the wrong side of the fabric was perfect. It was just absolutely perfect. It actually, the little loops match. I mean, it's just like amazing how perfect it looks. I know you can't see it, you know, but the pattern can go right through because it's the wrong side. So that was my decision because I fell in love with it. So when you are deciding and you're putting different things in place and you're not sure, don't do it. Don't do it until you're sure, because the minute I flipped the fabric over and I saw the pattern on the wrong side and it looked like a coordinating fabric, that was a home run for me. So I think it's really important to wait until you get to that point. And once you're at that point, you'll know you're at that point. This is a good example of simply a beautiful silk blouse with a vertical line. Now, if you notice the sleeves, they're full, which is why I went for this blouse, because I love that look right there with jeans, exactly like what I have on. Those have trim around the bottom of the sleeves, and I would strongly recommend you not do that because you are giving yourselves horizontal lines, and nobody needs horizontal lines unless you're 6'3". We just don't need horizontal lines. All right. I want you then to look at, this is Hermes. And because we have that Hermes fabric, I pulled a couple photos of Hermes because I really wanted you to see some of what they look like, some of what they do with their prints. And a lot of them are pre-printed, but it doesn't mean I couldn't come in with a different color facing and get a very similar look. And so I wanted you to see this one, and then mainly I wanted you to see this one, which, if you'll notice that price, it's pretty significant, okay? It's pretty significant. All right, so let me go back to, that's our last picture. Let me go back to these questions and see if I'm leaving out anybody. How'd you finish the seams? Okay, I got that. Closures. Oh, reversible closures. If I go back to the reversible jacket that we offered at 824, there did a patch, a square patch with a button on each side. So when it reversed, it still had the button there. So it had two buttons, one on each side, sewn together with a square, and then it matched the square of the buttonhole on the other side, which I really liked, and I kept that. We are actually having a reversible zipper made. So don't have it yet, but it's a project that it's ordered. It just hasn't arrived yet, but the zipper goes to both sides. So it's certainly made for a reversible jacket, and the zipper will zip up either way. They have them, they make them, they're making them for us. They're not cheap, but they're making them for us. So those two ways I would recommend, if it buttoned or no closure at all. There are jackets today that we see that have no closure at all, and that's simply totally, perfectly acceptable. Okay. Works until go to sleeves. Okay. All right. So questions, and I'll be happy to answer the questions for you. I did want to mention a couple things because we have dress forms for the next 2 weeks. We offer them periodically, but because my person who has them called me and said they got so expensive, I just said, I'm not selling, this is crazy. But I got a little better price. I put that little better price up, and they're on the site. And the dress forms, they're under lifestyle. So if you go under lifestyle, click on lifestyle, you'll choose your size. You'll buy them by the size, and I don't think they have the exact size on. But even if they don't, we'll contact you and ask the size. But for the next couple weeks, if you've wanted a dress form, I think they're amazingly helpful. Keep in mind you pad up. We've got directions. We've got a video that we put up that we filmed on Fit to Stitch on how to pad it. It's a home run. They're really, really good. The other thing I wanted to mention is the stylist class. This class we've had the biggest request for to do it again. It's an online class. It'll start the beginning of July. And it's, you know what I've said many times, it's to get the outside of you to match the inside of you, but a little nicer. And that's so true. We all have personalities, and that personality should come through in our dressing, but we've all seen people who that personality comes through in such a startling way that it's formidable. So, formidable? Anyway, this is a class that puts together the inside and the outside, but it does it in such a beautiful way that everyone looks their best, and that's the goal. It's a silhouette stylist class. There's 4 classes. They start the beginning of July, and then you'll have and I really did it in time for the holidays, so that come holiday time, when you're really looking about putting together outfits, you'll be able to ace it. Okay? Yay for reversible. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, I recall you had said that if you have a print, make a focal point. What did you mean by that? Yeah, I remember that. So I have a print on. And the original fabric is this silk right here. And when you don't have, if I were to just make this blouse, there's no way to create a focal point because it's just all somebody looking at you, their eye is free to roam. So by using the back side and by doing a vertical line up the front of this blouse, I created a focal point. I control your eyes now, and you look at me and you go up and down. You don't see lots of other things on me. I mean, I know you do after you stare for a while, but remember the concept is I think it gets 10 seconds, and that's extreme. I don't even think it gets that long. But here's what I'm going to do for you. I want you guys to, I know we're past time, but I want you to, where do I find pattern 824? 824 is on the Silhouette Pattern site. 824, it's a reversible jacket. It should be on there. It was there yesterday. I'm going to do something with you. So I want you guys to not close your eyes, but I'm going to pull up a picture. And once I pull it up, I want you to pay attention to where your eyes go. Where do your eyes go first? That's the goal. Okay? If you're ready. Okay, I'm going to pull up a picture, and you tell me, where do your eyes go? And what do your eyes do is what I want to know. Okay, where did your eyes go first? And then what did your eyes do? Next one. Where did your eyes go? And what did your eyes do next? So typically when I say to you, what I want in great design is I want a focal point. I want you to command visual as to where someone looks at you. That's what we want. Because people say to me all the time, well, I don't like this. I don't like this. Well, nobody's looking at that unless you bring attention to it. So this is a focal point is a very easy way to gain control over where they're looking. This right here, the concept of this baseball shirt will make your shoulders look narrower. That's why the dark is here. It will make your shoulders look narrower. Okay? Okay. All right, I'm going to go back and answer questions, and then we're going to call it an evening. If you are waiting on your phone, if you are watching on your phone, you can magnify video to see details. Sorry, center vertical line, facing. Yeah, you guys, we all get the same. I mean, I know if you're not seeing that front line, then you're not. Something's wrong with your eyes. I'm not going to say something wrong. That sounds terrible. But you see that, you see the contrast. Contrast creates a focal point. It's a whole nother class. But anyway, contrast creates focal point. And I want that contrast to be vertical. I want that contrast to be at my face. Because what your eyes do is they go up and down. And anytime eyes go up and down, we look thinner than if they go sideways. So we always want eyes to be going up and down, okay? Okay, dress forms. Oh, the other thing, every week at the end of these, or every other week, whenever my son, he's always saying to me, okay, Mom, do that thing. And I'm like, what does that even mean? Why am I even doing it? But I figured it out. Like, share, subscribe, hit the bell. I actually figured out what it means. So we want people to know who we are. I think sewing and fitting is much easier than we make it. And I love to help people. So the other day I met somebody. It was a weird thing. Anyway, sewer, da-da-da-da-da-da. She didn't know anything about silhouette patterns. She didn't know anything about the site. She has emailed me probably 20 times since last week. She can't believe this, can't believe that. It's hard for me to believe there's people out there who don't know use 3/8 inch seam allowance. How to make things easier, so much easier. So what do we want to do? We want to like, share, subscribe, and ring the bell. That's what we want to do because more people will learn about silhouette patterns. That's what we want to do. Okay. And make sure your computers are plugged in. Yeah, you have to make sure your computer's plugged in. I would assume you did that already. Okay, y'all. I want to say thank you. I guess we're okay. Everybody's questions are answered. Thursday night we have a Q&A, so just let us know if we can answer any questions. Don't forget your dress forms. Sign up for the Silhouette Stylist class. It'll be in your email tomorrow. If you guys I don't know how many of you are not on emails. I don't know if that's even a thing. Oh, I know what I was going to tell you. We're 6 months away from Paris. 6 months. So if you're going to go, get in. I think there's 3 spots left. 2 or 3, I'm not sure. 824 is a pattern. Yes, it is. I've always used 5/8 until now. Really? You're using 5/8? I mean, like before silhouette patterns, you don't use 5/8 anymore, do you? No. I did want to go back and tell you all. I forgot to tell you on one picture. I want to go back just a quick minute because I think these shoes are always so important. I want you to notice her shoes. Nope, sorry. Be patient with me. There we go. Look at her shoes. I think those shoes make that outfit. They're light. They pull in. They connect the top to the bottom, don't they? They're wonderful. And yet I don't think I would wear a light pair of shoes with jeans. But I really like this. Anyway, that was my takeaway from this picture. I think it's one of the reasons I liked it so much. But that's just an afterthought. Just ignore me, okay? All right, you all. So I'll say goodnight. Thank you all for being here. You know you're the best. Love you, love you. I miss shows without the email reminders. I do give you email reminders. Jump on our email list, you guys. Just jump on our email list. All right, you all. We will see you Thursday. Bye.